Firstly, I just want to apologise for the thumbnail. That might be in poor taste, but hey ho! Hey guys, so today I am going to be doing a review of Look Who's Back, a novel by Timur Vermes. I haven't actually seen a lot of talk about this one of late. I guess I wanted the hype to die down a little bit because I first heard about this in one of Emma Blackery's videos, and about that time it was more talked about, if that makes sense. I've had it for a little while now and I decided to pick it up a couple of months ago, and here's my review for it. If you can't guess by the cover, if you can even see that, this is about Hitler, guys, and I'm very sorry if this review offends anyone. If it does, and you think you might be offended by it, please do not watch this. I do not want to give any offence by anything I might say that might offend you, though I doubt it will, or just by me reviewing this book. I don't want to upset anybody, so please do not watch if you know you're going to be offended by this. Just had to get that little disclaimer out there. So, this is about Hitler who wakes up on a field in Germany, but it is not the Germany he should be in, if that makes sense. He is thrown into the future. I think it's 2014. I can't remember. He's thrown into a future Germany, and he's still trying to get his views out there and everything like this, but it turns a turn. He's not so much a political kind of character. He's more of a reality star. It wasn't the kind of Big Brother-esque reality TV show that I was expecting, so I guess that brought it down a little bit for me. He gets famous on like the internet and TV shows and stuff like that, so it's not like he's thrown in the Big Brother house, which is kind of what I wanted. I thought that would stir it up a little bit more, but sadly, no. It also wasn't the obvious satire that I was expecting. I knew this book was kind of done in good humour, but it wasn't obvious to me. I was honestly expecting to have very, very controversial views. I was going in expecting this to be a very controversial book, and I'm actually disappointed. That kind of makes me feel like, am I a bad person? But I kind of wanted to feel, when I was reading this, like, oh my god, I shouldn't be reading this. This is terrible, but carry on anyway. I didn't get that feel. It just felt like a regular book to me with a little bit of bad taste here and there, if that makes sense. Like, it didn't feel like I was reading about Hitler. Do you know what I mean? It just didn't. I was really hoping to kind of be enthralled in it and have some views, like solid views built up by the first like 100 pages. I don't know if my expectations for this was too high, but I didn't feel like I had as much to say as I hoped I would. Hitler himself in this book, him being placed in such a different environment, kind of was entertaining. It was interesting to see how he'd go about proclaiming his views and everything like that, but it wasn't as intense as I was hoping. Hardly anything. Like, I didn't really feel like I was getting inside his brain. Like, he's one of the most notorious evil beings out there, you know. A lot of people will agree with me, but I didn't feel like I was getting such an insight into his head. I thought maybe, okay, the comedy might overtake that kind of aspect, but it wasn't that case either. It was just a meh book, you know. It didn't really deliver anything that I was expecting, so I'm a bit disappointed in it. I really am. Everybody, in terms of side characters, I mean, they were nice to read about, but they didn't really, in terms of getting Hitler to where he was, like by the end of the book, they didn't really do anything other than that. They were just there. They felt very flat oftentimes. Quite a lot of the times they just weren't interesting to read about. And the major question I have is, why were so many people okay about this? Like, surely people would be suspicious about, if you've read this, you know what I mean, about the events that occur, like how well this guy is acting as Hitler. Surely people would be like super suspicious. They can't find any background information about him or anything like that, you know what I mean? Like, it was just too easygoing and very what's the word, everything just fell into place nicely, if you want to say that, you know. It wasn't what I wanted, and I sound so bad. I feel like such a bad person for saying that I wanted more of a controversial Hitler book and I didn't get that. I feel like such a horrible woman. And by the end, I also found myself super confused by how much time has passed. This is one of the flaws I hate. Timekeeping, time management. I need to know how long things have passed. I need to know the time zone. I need to know things like that. Otherwise, I feel perplexedly confused and stupid. You know, I need to know the sequence of things, like where are we now, how long ago was that kind of thing. And particularly in the last part, I didn't get that. A lot of things felt rushed, and like all of a sudden this happened and that happened, and I was like, what's going on? How did that occur? Like, it wasn't explained well enough. I enjoyed reading it as I was reading it, do you know what I mean? It was easy enough to get through. It was a quick read for me. It wasn't particularly mind consuming or anything like that. It was just a flowing book to read through, I guess. But I guess one of the good points about it, probably one of the only good points about it, is that the translator at the back gave you a rundown of quite a lot of characters that were mentioned in this book, in terms of their significance to the war and to Hitler as a person. I liked that because I did study history in GCSE, and the Munich and the Treaty of Versailles and all that, that was part of the curriculum. It's been about like 3-4 years since I did all that, so I felt like it was helpful that I did have a refresher for familiar names, and also a background to names that I didn't recognise. So that was interesting, that was helpful. But obviously if I had read that alongside the book, it would have made more sense at the time, because as I was reading these names during the story, I was like, who the fuck's that, you know? But overall, I think I probably could have lived without this in my life. It's just an odd book that didn't live up to my expectations, to some of the things that people were saying about it. I know a lot of people were really like offended by this, and that it was in poor taste, but I don't know if it's just because of my personal background, but I didn't see anything entirely offensive about it. I couldn't see, like, it wasn't making any obvious slander and remarks about any race, about the Jewish people or anything like that, and that's what I was expecting, you know. Everything just felt way too subtle. I didn't find it that great, to be honest. So it just got a 2 out of 5 stars from me. But do let me know if you read this, or if you're hoping to read it, and if my review is kind of, you know, voiced your opinion, or maybe thought maybe I'll wait a little bit longer before I read it, or might not read it at all. Just let me know what you think, and I shall speak to you in the next video. Bye.